everybody, welcome. It's me, Stella Wild, and I am back. I'm sure you missed me these last couple of weeks. I missed you, but I was on the run from Hurricane Florence, which, as you may know, decided to make a direct hit on the United States. And that direct hit was right in the town I live in. So I did not want to stay around for that drama. And I did evacuate, and, with all the upheaval, I wasn't in the right headspace to do readings. So thankfully now all of that is over. I am back doing the weeklies. Your monthlies will be slightly delayed because, I'm just getting back into my fairy light studio and back into everything. So your monthlies may be, hopefully they'll all be done by the end of the first week of October. But I wanted to get a quick weekly out for you guys because, like I said, I've missed you, and I love doing readings, and I miss doing the weekly. So this week I'm going to do something slightly different than I did last time. Ow! I hurt my shoulder moving yard debris. Ow. Okay. I am going to be choosing one tarot card for you in conjunction with a playing card. And with those two cards working together, I'm going to assess the energy and give you an intuitive message. I'm going to go through each sign as I normally do. Okay, so it may be a slightly abbreviated reading than we've had in the past for a weekly. But that's just because I really want to get back to getting the monthlies done for you. I just completed the other day the Libra birthday year ahead reading. That is now available on my website. It's 64 minutes long, I believe. And as with the Virgo birthday year ahead reading, which is still available, it goes month by month, starting in your birthday month of October 2018 through September 2019. And I draw a card per month. I draw clarifying, a card for your year, oracle card at the end. It's a great reading. So check that out on my website. My Manifesting Success with Saturn course, unfortunately, also got put on the back burner due to my escape from the hurricane. So I will be getting back to that, and I hope it'll be ready by the new moon in October. So let's see, anything else? Okay, yes, and if you need to book a reading with me, I will leave the link in the description. Okay, whew, that was a lot. All right, let's tune in. The first thing I do want to say is that Pluto is going direct. These weeklies start September 30th, tomorrow, Sunday, which is when Pluto goes direct, and they go through Saturday, October 6th, which is also the day that Venus goes retrograde. So there's a lot of shifts in energy that are happening this week. Most notably, Pluto going direct. So, we've had a reassessment in whatever area Capricorn is in your chart. You may have felt that you had a bit of a breather, in a sense, from some upheavals, although of course the eclipses did bring a lot of upheaval to the surface into play. But in particular, in regards to Capricorn, wherever that is in your chart, you may have had a little bit of a break since April when Pluto went backwards. Now that it is going forward again, the level of transformation and intensity is going to feel much more pronounced. So changes that you had been contemplating within the area of Capricorn in your chart, you can now make greater headway on them. And or the universe is going to start manifesting those things for you to help you make that progress. Because Pluto, as I've called Pluto in the past, the great bulldozer of doom, it sometimes just comes right in and does stuff and you don't have control over it. But it is ultimately for your own good because it's weeding out dead wood from your life. So you may see when Pluto stations this week, it's whenever a planet stations, the energy is much more intense. So you may feel, wherever that is in Capricorn, you may feel almost like this sense of a car engine revving and getting ready to really take off and, move ahead. So the transformations may not start immediately, but you will feel it. You'll feel the kind of seismic shift getting ready even within you. The other thing, of course, is Venus going retrograde on Saturday the 6th. I have a couple of blog posts on my website that you may want to check out. I'll leave the link in the description about Venus retrograde and also particularly about this Venus retrograde period. Everything's up for review. That is most important to people usually, love and money. So, and again, it depends on where Scorpio and Libra is in your chart. But with it going retrograde in Scorpio, there is going to be an added emphasis on, let's just say, skeletons in the closet and obsessions. Whatever your obsessions are, or whomever they were. That's going to be definitely coming back into play for you for the next 6 weeks. And let's face it, old lovers can come back. You may not want them to come back. I mean, they may not come back literally. You may just, they may be in your dreams, not literally standing there in the flesh. Some of them you just really, stay in the past. But their presence could be made known when Venus goes retrograde. And because of the Scorpio influence, there can be some, which is tied in with Pluto, of course, because Pluto rules Scorpio, there can be some sort of real karmic loose ends that need to get tied up. So that could be happening for a lot of people in October and into the first part of November. If it's not some sort of karmic love thing that needs to be really kind of tied up and let go of, transformed finally for the end, Pluto, it may be that it's some sort of financial obligation because Scorpio's 8th house, so that's other people's money. So there could be a reassessment of debt. Here comes my cat. A reassessment of debt, financial obligations, how your money is intertwined with someone else's. So you can read more about this on my website, but these are the general energies, and we're going to start feeling all of this Pluto influence with it going direct in Capricorn, and then the Pluto influence with Venus retrograde in Scorpio, and then backing into a little bit of Libra. And it's going to be interesting, I think, October, but I'm going to save that for my October monthlies as the cat walks in front of my face here. I'm having tea as well. I don't think you can see him because of the way the camera's positioned, but he's like right here. Okay. All right. As usual, I will put timestamps in the description so that you can go directly to your sign if you would like to do that. Oh, this cat. I wish he would just sit in my lap and get it over with. Okay. All right. For those of you who have cats, you know what I'm talking about. All right. Sit. Thank you. He's such an attention hog, but like he cannot be doing this right now. All right, so Aries, let's start with you, my dear Aries. For this week, what do you need to know? So I'm shuffling. Let's see, I just don't want the cat to step on things and ruin everything. You hear him, he's making noise. All right, Aries, let's concentrate, Aries. Okay, yes, I am feeling that one. And a playing card. Let's see. So I'm feeling that one. All right, let's see. Yeah, look, he's moving the thing around. Okay. All right, interesting energy. We have the 5 of Pentacles and the 8 of Diamonds. So this feeling of inherited lack that you have had, Aries, is something that is going to be ow, God, my shoulder, I'm really sorry. Is going to be front and center for you this week. So as Pluto goes direct in that 10th house of yours, Capricorn, you may be looking at family structures, corporate structures, government structures. Do you see this? Do you see what he does? Government structures. that are making you feel a sense of lack in yourself. So it's more this though idea of, because Eight of Diamonds is inheritance, so this idea of inherited lack. So old familial patterns, things passed down through ancestral DNA that make you feel impoverished. Those are the themes to look at this week. Where does that come up for you? How does it trigger you? How can you transform that? All right, so that's your message for this week, about not buying into those inherited patterns. They may come up. There may be a situation dealing with money that you are going to have to look at your reaction. Your knee-jerk reaction may be coming from that victimhood, coming from that sense of impoverishment and sense of lack, there may be a big spotlight on that for you this week. And how can you transform that? There may even be a touch of victimology going on there around money and resources. And again, it's not something that is, it's not something that how do I want to explain this? This is inherited. This is passed down. We just don't, we're not born as victims like that. No, this is something that in the patterns of familial upbringing has come to pass, and it needs to be looked at this week, because there's going to be a spotlight shown on it, and it's time to transform it. That you do not have to stay in this inherited pattern of feeling impoverished, and also I would say feeling like an outsider because you may not have enough resources at the moment, financial resources. So you may be feeling like you can't join a certain group or do certain things, and you're left out because you don't have the financial resources. So that's something to really take a look at here. And of course your self-esteem takes a hit with that, right? So that could be, you could be having a tender moment around that this week, Aries. But ultimately it's happening so that you can transform it, because that's that Pluto energy. It comes up so you can feel it and free it and let it go. All right, Taurus, let's see what we have for you, Taurus. Let's see. All right, let's do that one. And let's see what we have. And this one. Okay. I shuffled. Look at this. 8 of Diamonds again, but 9 of Wands. Okay, so this week for you, Taurus, you are inheriting a feeling of exhaustion, of being run down, of, again, like Aries, a familial pattern of inheriting this constant doing to the point of total burnout, but not getting enough coming back to you. So really settling for this less than, compensation for all the effort that you're putting in, to the point where your physical being is suffering. But again, with this 8 of Diamonds, it's an inherited ancestral familial pattern that's going to come up this week, that you're going to see, oh my gosh, I'm acting just like my mother, father, whoever raised you, whatever that pattern is. I am acting just like them. I am reacting to this emotional situation thinking that I have to behave like them. I have to just keep doing, giving, until it hurts, until I'm exhausted to the point I can't even get out of bed anymore. So the energy this week is to really look at that, Taurus, that has to be transformed. Okay, that has to be transformed for you this week, to not buy into that pattern. And I would just, I'm not a doctor, obviously I'm not a medical doctor, but just really be careful of your health this week. I would take some extra vitamin C, and I would make sure you get enough sleep, because any sort of inherited familial dis-ease, okay, dis-ease could, come up for you this week, or you could feel like it could come up. I'm not saying it's not necessarily going to manifest, but it could. Or the way you're coping with the feeling run down, the way you're coping, he's back again. The way you're coping with it is you're acting like your ancestor would cope with it. So you might be over-medicating with food, alcohol, shopping, things like that, to try to get a sense of control back, and to just sort of feel better. But that's not what you need. You need sleep and vitamin C, not more chocolate, not wine, and not a spending spree at TJ Maxx. Okay? Okay. All right, Gemini. Let's see. Gemini. Let's see what cards we have for you. Okay. Of course, the cat is back again. But he finally settled down. All right, Gemini. Let's see. Okay. All right, interesting. All right, Gemini. So finally, we get some different energy going on here. So you have the Ace of Diamonds and the Two of Pentacles. So you may be looking for a second job, and you might find one this week. If that's been a concern for you, if you want to make extra money, with Pluto going direct, you are going to have an opportunity to start a new venture that it may not be entirely lucrative at first, but it has the potential to be a nice side gig for you, Gemini, this week. So you may find that side gig this week. You may start a little business of your own on the side if you don't actually go out and work for someone else. This could be like a holiday job if you're here in the States. So you may even get a message from, actually, I'm hearing this now. You're going to get a message from somebody about this opportunity. I'm not thinking you're going to, I mean, you could just get it on your own, but I think there's going to be another person involved who's like a friend who's going to say, hey, so-and-so needs help this holiday season, or we need a couple extra shifts at our job, something like that. And they think of you and they call you. So this is very positive. As I said, it may not be entirely as lucrative as you want immediately, but it's definitely something that's going to help pay the bills. And there could even be, if you've been doing a side gig, there could be a little bonus that comes your way this week. So this is nice energy. And the idea of transforming the way you balance your energies around work as well. So look at also how much you can reasonably take on to make that extra money. Because this card is upright, which is good, but there is the sense of having to juggle things, and juggling can be stressful. And so I would just take a look at that and make sure, again, like Taurus, that you're just keeping everything in balance, because this opportunity is going to be good. It can definitely grow into something else, but it could be the sense that you see like, oh wow, this is so awesome, I want to just leap right into it. And if you already have a job and then you try to take something else on, you could be doing too much. So take a look at that. I have to move the cat again. You see this? Do you see this person? Oh my goodness. All right. I mean, if I close the door and boot him out, he's just gonna, start banging on the door. So you can't win with cats, as you may know. All right. Oh, now he's trotting off. Okay. All right, Cancer. Cancer. What do you need to know this week? Cancer. I like that one. And let's see. All right, and this one, Cancer. Okay, so Knight of Pentacles upside down and Ace of Spades. So this is very interesting. The slowdown in your finances, Cancer, is finally going to end. There will be a transformation in whatever has been held back in your finances. Your finances have been at a standstill. If you've been trying to grow your investments, get another job, get overtime, make more money, start another side gig, whatever, it's just been not happening. And if you've needed to get things done around your house, you haven't been able to because you haven't had the money, or there's been shoddy repair work. But there is a transformation on the way. This is the Death card, so, but we know death is also transformation. So this situation, I feel, is going to be rectified. Well, there's still going to be a little bit of a slowdown in October. I mean, I hate to say, I don't want to get into monthly readings because that's a separate video, but you know, Venus retrograde, there can be slowdowns in finances, but I feel like the situation is going to start turning around for you, but it may not reach its full capacity until December. All right, but you just got to hang in there a little bit longer. But the universe is going to start transforming this money and home situation in October. And especially this week, you'll see glimmers of it. Like maybe you finally connect with a contractor who can work on your house. Maybe you finally connect with somebody who knows how you can invest something. You're finally going to connect with somebody who can network with you and start giving you that other opportunity for a job. But it's not going to come to a manifestation of a new job till like probably December. All right, or January actually, but you're going to start seeing, Cancer, the glimmers of hope around the slowdown, the slow as molasses really, around your finances and any home repairs. You're going to start seeing the seeds of that being transformed this week, the glimmer of hope with that. Okay, so that was Cancer. And where am I now? Leo. Oh my goodness. Okay, Leo. So I like that one. Let's see, Leo. I like this one. So we have, okay. All right, interesting. And I do need a sip of tea. Reprimanding the cat takes a lot out of you. You need tea. Okay. We have 8 of Swords, and we have 7 of Spades. 7 of Spades is health, and 8 of Swords, of course, is feeling trapped. So this is echoes of Taurus as well. So for you, Leo, you may be feeling stuck in some sort of health crisis this week. Or your health, it's really your mental health, right? Because it's Swords here, and she thinks she can't release herself, but she can because her hands are not tied. So your mental health, your anxiety level is something that you need to take a look at this week, Leo. You really can make yourself sick this week, physically sick through your anxiety, really. So it is time to transform that anxiety into something more productive. It's all the mind control. You're controlling your mind, looking at how you're keeping yourself stuck in mind loops of just anxious what-if scenarios. And it is affecting your health, your physical health. So you want to take a look at that and transform that this week. I'm going to pull an extra one for my Leos. Okay, so it's probably in relation, I'm not feeling this as an individual, I'm feeling this is about your money. about your manifesting power, about how much money that you have right now and that you're feeling with this King of Pentacles upside down. King of Pentacles energy upside down is feeling impotent over your manifestation powers, that you cannot get the resources that you need. You just can't make stuff happen. You don't have the magic touch around money, and you're feeling that sense of, how am I going to go on? So this to me, this week for you, Leo, is anxiety around money issues and it causing you a lot of mental anxiety and stress. So that is something to take a look at, and especially with this Venus going retrograde, which represents our money and our values as well as our love life. It's very hard to manifest, and manifest money in particular, when you're in that state of worry and lack. So Leos are very resourceful individuals. They have a lot of creativity. Take a look at that this week. How can you take a more creative approach to this finances rather than looking at it through this lens of worry and anxiety? I'm not diminishing or minimizing your worry and anxiety. Absolutely. When we do not have enough resources, or we feel we don't have enough resources, definitely can cause anxiety. Absolutely. So I don't discount that. But at some point you have to shift out of that, because that is not the energy of manifesting. So feel the feelings, acknowledge, but then you've got to do something productive to break out of that feeling of impotence. Maybe you start looking at help ads on Indeed.com or something like that, or you look at things you can sell in your home to make some money, or you look at ways you can refinance, or things like that. So there's a lot of creative ways. You're very creative, Leo. You can figure it out, but you can't figure it out when you're in that mindset of lack and worry. And you can't figure it out when your worry makes you physically ill and you have to, go stay in your bed for a couple days because you don't feel well. All right, all right, Virgo for this week. What does Virgo need to know? Okay, Virgo. I like that one. Let's see. Okay. So we have the Four of Cups and the King of Hearts. Someone who you care about, Virgo, this week, probably a man, but it doesn't have to be, but probably, because it's a king, or has a very male energy, is not too concerned with your emotional well-being this week. Okay. This individual could really make you feel like a WTF. Like, why am I bothering with this individual? They are not supporting me. They are making me doubt myself. They are not supportive. I need a little support right now, right? Virgo, you're saying, I need a little support. And this person is just giving me a bunch of, what? What are they giving me? They're not supporting me. And as a result, I think you're going to look for that support, or that support's going to come from some sort of other resource, other source. And there's going to be a little bit of an awakening around this individual and how they talk a lot about supporting you, but in the practical scheme of things, they don't really do anything to support you. And when that support comes from another source this week, Virgo, you're going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's what it should feel like, and what is going on with this person. So you may be reevaluating your association with this individual. This is probably a water sign. Doesn't have to be, but probably is. And I'm not sure what's going on with this person. They probably aren't normally like this, which is why their recent behavior has got you really kind of disgusted, because normally they are supportive of you. And for some reason, the last maybe 4 weeks, 4 months, they've really not been there for you. And an incident's going to come up this week where you're going to see it again, and you're going to be like, what the heck is going on? So you're going to have to finally address it with this individual, because this is you're seeing that a pattern is setting in, and you don't like that with this person. So you want to break that or address it. You want to address it, bring it out in the open, see what's going on. Okay. All right, Libra. Libra. What is going on with Libra? What's going on with Libra? Yeah, I like that one. This one wants to come up too. All right, Libra, you get 2 cards. I don't know. All right, playing card. Hey, sometimes that happens. I don't play favorites. I just see like what's happening with the cards. All right. All right, I gotta read it like this. All right, moon upside down. Wow, 2 10s. All right, 10 of Pentacles, moon upside down, and 10 of Spades. There is some sort of light that's being shed this week on your family unit, but particularly in regards to the finances, because of course we have the 10 of Pentacles here. The 10 of Spades is the Sun card. It's all about the illumination of the sun, about the daylight, of things that get revealed in the sunshine. And then it's very interesting because we have the moon upside down. So we have things that are revealed in the moonlight. So we have what is being revealed is some sort of family dynamic that in the daytime, like what gets represented in the world looks normal, but what's going on behind the scenes is not normal. And it's around the money. So an example of this would be, you know, the family that has the 2 cars, the big house, the, you know, I don't know, all the material items, everybody goes to fancy schools, big job, you know, all that, you know what I'm saying? All those trappings of a so-called successful life. So it looks really good in the daylight, right? You drive by in the day and, you know, they look like the perfect family. But underneath it all, oh my gosh, like they're in debt up to their eyeballs. There's a lot of dysfunction, and it's not, things are not as they appear. So this week, Libra, the things that are the disconnect between those 2 realities, they're not, one is not really reality though. One is the reality. This one's the reality. This one's the show. What you put out there for everybody to see. You're going to have to really address that. So there could be some sort of incident this week involving money that forces you to acknowledge, Libra, that this show cannot continue like this. There has got to be a reckoning with your finances involving your family. Now, this may not apply to all Libras, but remember, it's a general reading. But Libra, you have Pluto going through that 4th house, and it's going to go direct, the 4th house of home and family and roots. So I hate to swear on YouTube, but sometimes I have to. The shit's going to hit the fan. The shit has the potential to hit the fan in regards to how the reality is not what you're putting out there for everybody to see. There could be some big expense that comes up and you don't have the money for it, as an example. Something to do with your home or your child as well. Maybe they want to go to an expensive trip or another type of childcare or school, and you're like, oh yeah, we can pay the $10,000 a year for that. Oh sure, no problem. And then you realize, because you think you're going to get the money from over here, and you realize, no, you're not going to get the money from over there. So the chickens come home to roost and show you that this disconnect in your finances, the perception and the reality has got to start being addressed as Pluto goes direct. So that's a little heavy. Okay, let's see what else. And especially with Venus going retrograde as well with the finances, right? In your second house of Scorpio, of wealth and money and what you value, you're going to have to really, this is getting into the monthlies a little bit, but you're going to have to really reevaluate, Libra, where that money's going. Like, do you want to just keep putting your time and energy into trying to create this facade? The universe is going to make you have to get real about your finances and your family and how that money's being allocated. All right. You'll see it this week. Again, like the situation may not fully manifest this week, but you're going to see the seeds of it. You're going to see where that disconnect is. You already know, but it's going to be more in your face this week. Okay, Scorpio. Feeling that one. Scorpio. Okay. Oh, another Ace of Diamonds. And I shuffled these. Another Knight of Pentacles. And I shuffled. Upright this time, though. Okay, Scorpio. So, fabulous. New opportunity this week in regards to a personal venture, a personal money-making venture. Again, it may be slow to start the money coming in, but the seed is planted with this Pluto going direct. And since Pluto's going direct in your third house, this is around probably some sort of writing, marketing, publishing, blogging, networking, community, business. So think about planting those seeds this week. Particularly, you want to do it before Saturday, before the Venus goes retrograde. And again, because the Venus is retrograde and then we have Mercury retrograde in November, you may not really see a lot of, you'll start seeing some fruits, but you may not see the full fruits, the full financial manifestation until December, but that's okay. This is a good week to look at how a new venture that you want to build, that you can really plant the seeds and start making the thing happen. Even if you just start writing the book this week, or you start the pieces of the marketing campaign, but you don't launch it till December or January, something like that. But the seeds get planted this week for a very profitable new venture. It's just that the profit may take a little while to manifest. If you're looking for a job, this is a great week, Scorpio, to look for a new job. All right, so definitely send out the resumes, go on any interviews, talk to people. It's a really good week for that. Okay, let's see what else we have. All right, we are Sagittarius. What do we need to know for Sagittarius? Scorpio, you could even look at real estate as a new venture. Like this sounds a little crazy, but maybe you rent out a room in your house. Maybe you rent your house out and you go travel, and or you decide to commit to that idea this week and you put the plan in motion. So it could even be something like that, where you use your real estate as whatever assets you have with that as a way to make money. Even if you rent, maybe you sublet, and so that you can go and travel and go, do something else. So that's another possibility. All right, Sagittarius. Sagittarius. Feeling that one. And let's see. cards are coming up. Okay. Okay, so Sagittarius, we have the Jack of Clubs, which represents your relatives, and the Seven of Spades upside down. So you're going to have a very intense heart-to-heart discussion with a relative or somebody that you consider a relative. Because sometimes, you know, we choose our families. Our close friends are our relatives, so to speak. So there is going to be some sort of heart-to-heart discussion with someone you consider a relative, and some home truths are going to get delivered that have been needing to come out for a while. And maybe it's not your truth, maybe it's theirs, but there's going to be that discussion. Somebody's going to be bearing their soul. It could be both of you finally clear the air about some sort of issue, or it's just you, or it's just them, whatever, but that's the theme for you this week. And I'm going to pull one more for you guys because I want a little more clarity. Let's see. Okay, so we have 10 of Clubs. So it could be that they have, this is the journey card. So it could be that they were traveling, or they come and see you. Maybe you haven't seen them in a while and you guys have a visit, and you know, sometimes when you're actually physically together, not just like texting, but you're actually together with this person, the comfort level is there to finally, you know, have that conversation. So maybe you're traveling to see them, they're traveling to see you, or what could happen is that since you have this discussion with them, you decide that you want to plan a trip together, you know, that, or this conversation is really ironing out the details around this trip. I believe in the September Sagittarius video, I talked about you guys taking a trip at the end of September. So this is, you know, possibly the energy also that's kind of going on with that. And yeah, the other thing I'm hearing that I'm getting is that even if this is not a literal physical journey, whatever this conversation is with this person, it's going to open up a new vista. All right, a new vista of possibilities in this relationship. So you'll feel like you can probably continue the journey with this individual, or maybe your paths are going to diverge. All right, based on this conversation. So it's this, because this is the journey card. So it's the idea of, am I going to be able to move forward with this person after this conversation? Maybe we just have the discussion and we agree to disagree and we go our separate ways. Or maybe we come together and we decide, okay, we can move forward together. But there's something around that. And there has been the energy, because this is reversed. But there has been the energy of this. There has been the energy of people not really speaking their truth and letting things slide under the radar, and you know, a lot of things going unspoken because the potential is there to have a real rupture. And that could still happen, but the rupture with it upside down, there's an opportunity for an honest discussion. The rupture does not have to be totally, you know, dramatic and heart-wrenching. It can just be, like I said, we agree to disagree, we go our separate ways, no harm, no foul, it's fine. I still love you, you're my relative, but, you know, it's just the way it is. So that's the energy that you may be feeling this week, Sagittarius. And as I said, it could be with somebody that you would consider as close as a relative, although they may not be a blood relation. All right, I need another sip of tea. Capricorn. Capricorns. Oh my goodness. With you, with Pluto in your sign, it's going to go direct. I have a couple of Capricorns in my life, and who I love dearly, and they are going through some stuff. They are going through some things. It's hard. It's really hard when you have Pluto in your sign. Really hard. I mean, you Sagittarians know what that's all about. And you Scorpios, if you can remember that far back. All right, Capricorn. I feel that one. All right, let's see. Capricorn. All right. Oh. Well, finally we get something interesting with love. So we have the Eight of Hearts, we have the Love card, and we have the Page of Cups, and it's upright. Whoa, Capricorn. Maybe there's something exciting that's going to happen this week for you in the love department. So this, at the very least, there's going to be a lovely, loving message for you, Capricorn. You're going to feel the love. You're going to feel the love this week from somewhere. Okay. From people who are just saying, wow, I really appreciate you, to possibly a new person maybe you're interested in, and you get the sense, you know, they ask you out, finally. Pluto going direct, finally they ask you out. Let's see what else. You just could get a message. If you're a writer, an artist, you know, you put stuff out in the world and you're waiting for it to get accepted. You could have an acceptance this week of a poem or a piece of art, because of course Page of Cups is ruled by Pisces, so any sort of artistic endeavor. So you're gonna have some good news that you are loved, whether that's your just literal, you know, your literal self, or the things that you create. You're gonna get positive feedback about that and acceptance. And just some good vibes coming to you this week, Capricorn, where you are going to feel the love. And you guys need that, because as I said, like, Capricorn suns. I mean, I'm Capricorn rising, as you may know from my other videos. And yeah, I've been dealing with Pluto as well, and Saturn. But it's different when it's your sun sign and or your Venus, if your Venus is in Capricorn. When Pluto goes over that, when Saturn goes over that, I mean, that's heavy energy. So my sun sign Capricorns, they are really in need of this. And you're going to get it this week. You're going to see that even though you're going through a lot of life-changing and really some very wrenching and some scary experiences, the love is there, and you're going to feel it and see it. Because Page of Cups is bringing those love messages into you. So they could even be emails, phone calls, texts, a nice coffee meeting with someone. It's going to be great. It's going to really boost you, Capricorn, because as I said, you've been going through a lot of stuff, and it's just going to make you feel good this week. So that's really nice, because you'll feel it, especially if you're a mid-born Capricorn. If you're in that January 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th time period with Pluto stationing direct on your sun, you're gonna feel it more than others. I mean, all Capricorns will feel it, but you especially, because it'll be stationing on your sun sign for, I think it's a couple of weeks where it's in the same degrees, and you're just, because it moves so slow anyway, but the stationing part. So as I said earlier in this video, when it stations, the power is much more intense. So these next couple of weeks could be challenging, Capricorn. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you from an astrological point of view, but at least this week, the universe is bringing you some nice loving energy, which you need. All right. Aquarius. All right, I like that one. Let's see. I like that one. Ooh. All right, Aquarius. The King of Spades represents somebody who calls on you. And Three of Swords, well, do we need to explain the Three of Swords? We know what the Three of Swords is. I mean, just look at it. So, unfortunately, for you this week, there could be a message, the opposite of Capricorn. So there could be a message of loss. That's just, I can't look at it any other way. There could be a message of loss, but it's more, it's not just a message. Okay, I don't know what happened with the video. I mean, the cat was not anywhere near around, so I can't blame him. Something funky happened as I was doing the Aquarius explanation of the two cards, so let me do it again. I do remember what I said, and Pisces totally got cut off also, so I'm going to have to redo Pisces. All right, so as I was saying, Aquarius, with this energy, I really feel, though, that it's around finances, that there could be some loss involved. Now, this caller card is not just about a text message or a phone call. This is really about a literal meeting with a person, somebody coming to your home, your business, calling on you with some sort of heartbreaking message. I feel that it is related to money. It could be like what we're dealing with here in town, where, you know, you think that your insurance adjuster shows up to assess the damage from the hurricane to your house, and you think it's all going to be covered, and then they say to you, no, this, and this, not covered. And that can be the type of heartbreaking news that you get. Alternatively, for some other Aquarians, it could be that you run into a friend, or you meet for coffee or something like that, someone in your social circle, and you find out through that person that the ex that just broke up with you like a week ago is already dating someone new, moved in, and they're like happy and posting disgusting pictures all over Facebook of how happy they are. And so that is the upsetting, heartbreaking news that you hear, because you're like, you know, my God, like, what is that all about? So it could be a tough week, Aquarius, with some sort of news surrounding a loss. Really, that's what it is, a loss. I feel like for probably about most of you, it'll be financially related, but for others, it will be hearing about a romantic loss that somebody else tells you about. Now, the other option could be that you meet with a friend who tells you of their loss of a relationship or a financial situation, and you know, give them comfort or give them hope, explain to them you've been through a similar thing and they'll make it through as well. So it could be something along those lines, but I feel it's going to be personal. It's going to be personal to you, Aquarius. And there will be an element of surprise to it that you weren't expecting, unfortunately. Like, you knew, I mean, let me rephrase that. You're surprised, but you're not surprised. Because Aquarians, they're very intuitive. So you were expecting something along those lines, but it is still a little surprising. Maybe the extent of it, the extent of it that you hear. Yeah. Okay, so I'm sorry to say that, Aquarius, but ultimately remember too that Pluto is transforming it for the best. So, but it could be a little bit of a tender moment for you this week surrounding a loss. I feel if it's heartbreak related, the loss has already happened. If it's financial, the loss hasn't happened yet. You'll hear the financial loss this week. All right, now Pisces, I already did your reading, but something happened to the computer and it got cut off. So I don't know what this means. I think maybe I need to do 2 readings for you, Pisces. I'll tell you what the first one was. I have to find the cards. You had the 9 of Hearts. You had the 9 of Hearts, and you had the Queen of Cups yourself, upside down. So I interpreted that as a wish that you wanted to have happen this week, Pisces, but it didn't come to fruition. Or you saw that that wish was impractical. And Pluto moving direct in your 11th house of hopes, wishes, dreams, etc. You know, whatever dream Pluto is not letting you have at this moment is because Pluto's steering you in another direction that you're supposed to go in. So that was the message that I got for you, but the computer shut off. So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do another reading for you, Pisces. And so we will see. Hopefully everything will be okay. I don't know why the computer did that. I can't, like I said, I can't blame the cat. He wasn't even nearby. All right, let's see. All right, I feel that one. And now let's do another one. Let's see. Okay. Okay. We got the Sun and we got the Queen of Diamonds. So this is great. The Queen of Diamonds represents seasons, and the Sun, of course, is one of the best cards in all of tarot, represents happiness, wishes fulfilled, and just joy. So it's interesting. I think this does tie in with the reading that I did for you that got cut off, because I feel, especially with the seasons card, what this is saying is that with the other reading, don't fret if something that you wanted to have happen you see that it's not going to happen in that way, because by the end of the next season, which would be the solstice, December 21st, you will manifest, the universe will bring to you the dream you're supposed to have, the happiness that you're supposed to have, Pisces. So this week, if something gets a little funky and you see that Pluto's starting to move you away from this thing that you really wanted to have, just accept it. Just accept it. Go with the flow, because the universe is going to bring you a wonderful, joyous, prosperous, abundant happiness before the next season has passed. Well, yeah, we did. We entered fall already. So before the next season, that would technically be in 6 months, but I'm going to go with by the solstice. All right, so by the time this season is done, the solstice, you will be steered in the right direction by Pluto to the dream that's supposed to manifest and make you happy. Okay, so that's good. That's good. So I guess there was a reason. There's always a reason, right? There's a reason why the computer screwed up and made me do Pisces again. Okay. All right. So I hope you all have a great week. As always, if you need a personal reading, I will leave the link in the description. And let me get on to those monthlies. All right. I will see you soon. Everybody have a great week. Take care.